Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome to my new US series, Delta South Grain and Harvest. We're on Delaplane, Arkansas, a 4x PC-only map by Delta South Mapping and Modding. So, if you do like the look of this map throughout this video, the link to his itch.io page will be in the video description below. So, this is definitely something of a scratch and itch thing for me. Ever since I discovered Farming Simulator way back when, being on a big US map, working big fields with some huge US spec machinery has always been my go-to playstyle. And I feel it's been a while since I've made some content like this on the channel. So here we are. We have got an incredible farm built specifically for this series by my good friend Chimera. Some massive equipment to work our 450 acres of farmland. A selection of some incredible mods to add realism, immersion, and a whole load more work to do. But the main thing, the drive to have a bit of fun and hopefully make some enjoyable content for all you wonderful folks out there. So, let's get into it. Welcome everybody to Delta South Grain and Harvest.
Just you wait to listen for the storm. Hear the difference in the wind. When dark clouds form and start to turn, I'll run again. Far away when the hurricane comes in. Far away when the hurricane.
So, as is customary, in the first episode of a new series, we'll have a bit of a tour around the farm, a tour and look at the equipment and everything that we've got, go through the premise of the series, what the idea is, what we're going to be doing, kind of state of the farm, what we've got to work with and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'll tell you what though, I mentioned in the realism mods that I've got running, it's taken me quite a while to set up this save, and it's only in the last kind of literally few minutes as I've started to actually record the episode that I've added in all the realism mods. For example, we've got advanced damage system, the Aussie's moisture system, more realistic game engine, punctured tyres, realistic harvesting, realistic soil and fertilizer, crop dependent rolling, cab cinematic, crop destruction overhaul, NX Modding's farm kit, field goals, loads of mods to add in, whether it's gameplay realism or just immersion realism and all that kind of stuff. But as I say, I did them all in one go, and within the first 2.5 minutes of driving this tractor, punctured tyres gave me a flat tyre and then a following on with a $1,873 bill to repair a punctured rear left tyre. So that was a bit savage. But anyway, it is what it is. So yeah, welcome to this new farm, and what a farm it is, honestly. It is gorgeous, this one, it really is. Now, the premise of the series, first and foremost, let's get into this one first. It's primarily just to have a bit of fun and enjoy playing on a gorgeous map. This is Delaplane, Arkansas by Delta South Mapping and Modding, and it's beautiful, it really is. It's got such an incredible Southern American US vibe to it. The atmosphere and the feel of this one is just brilliant. He's got a handful of maps out there on his itch.io page. I highly recommend, if you are a PC player, go check them all out, because they've all got their individual charms about them. But this one is just very, very special, if you ask me. It's a beautiful map, it really is. But made even more special for me, and this save game anyway, by this incredible build by my good mate Chimera. If you are watching, Kim, I'm lost for words, mate. This farm is absolutely wonderful, and I cannot thank you enough for the time you have spent building this for me. So let's go and have a look round. First and foremost, we'll have a look at what we've got. So some nice big sheds, as you can see. We've got a wide range of equipment. Now, the idea, this isn't a start from scratch, work from nothing to millions or anything like that. As I said, the idea of it is just to have some fun, enjoy playing on this map, and enjoy playing with some really big kit like this Salford Series 1260 cultivator, for example. Look at the size of it. It's an absolute whopper. seldom get the opportunity to play with kit like this. Things like this Anhydrous toolbar and tank and stuff. This is from OS Farms mapping as well. I think if I get the name correctly, forgive me, I haven't actually jotted down a list of all the mods and the modders who've made these things, but I will, of course, as I do with episode 1 of most of my series, I will post links to all of the mods that I'm using in this series so far, and they will be in the video description below. So go grab them if you want them. But yeah, I've had a real craving to work with some Anhydrous toolbars. There aren't that many out there so far for FARMERSIM 25. There has been 1 or 2 that, forgive me, they've been crudely copied and made from the originals that we had back in FARMERSIM 22 by Collins Custom Modding. But this one is pretty much a ground-up rebuild. This particular toolbar is a Dalton Ag, and it's really, really nice with its accompanying anhydrous tanks at the back. I'm not sure when we'll get round to using it. We will get round to using it at some point, but I just wanted to have them on the farm. Can you blame me? So yeah, big machines. We've got a handful. We've actually got a few on the way as well being delivered, because I am already in a little bit of debt. But these case Steigers are from Carl Farms. They're on the Mod Hub, and they are wonderful things. Now, one of the things that I've tried my very best to do on this save game and in this series is to have as many tractors as possible with interactive control, because, again, mentioning the realism things, just having that ability, plus cab cinematic, of course, to be able to get in and out your tractors like this, again, for me, is absolutely perfect. It just adds that extra little touch of realism to everything, and it's just brilliant. And I've done my very best to make sure that all of the vehicles I have got on this save have got interactive control and openable doors. Not everything, unfortunately. Some of the cotton harvesters, for example, because we are going to be running and playing with some cotton, but all of the tractors I've tried my very best to make sure that they've all got some form of interactive control. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, really big shed here. Sorry, that's where I was going with this, wasn't I? So we've got a really big shed here that comes off into a second room at the back here that we currently have our Mack truck and grain trailer in here. Nice old bit of kit here. We may well look to improve this and upgrade this in the near future, but for now, it's a cracking bit of kit. And of course, probably for one of the first times in my YouTube content anyway, we've got an actual cotton trailer. Now, this is a base game thing. There aren't actually that many cotton trailer mods out there. Not that I'm aware of anyways, especially on the Mod Hub. This is a base game thing. It would have been cool to be able to customize it a bit and maybe have a custom color. But it is what it is. Maybe that's a testament to how... Because I've not seen very many people in my little microcosm of the farming simulator community anyway. I've not seen many content creators work a lot with cotton. And it's a great crop to work with. It's really, really profitable as well. So I'm hoping in the near future we're going to get to be making a good bit of money from cotton, because that's going to be one of the things we get down to today in this episode, is planting some cotton. Because as you can see, we're in March. I have started this save with the start in spring mod. Again, to add a bit of variety, because we're always starting in August. We've always got a field that's ready to harvest, ready to go. And that tends to be the approach that happens more often than not, and I really fancied the idea of just doing something a little bit different. So welcome to another massive shed, and I was really keen to have a big shed like this, proper full of machinery. So again, we've got this is the smaller frame Steiger 425 here, lovely bit of kit, but as you can see as well, loads and loads of interactivity with these machines. You can check the oil there, you can pop the hood and do a bit of work. That was too close. See, that's a bit of a frustration, isn't it? Too close to the... Let's see if I can get it there. There we go. That's better. Yeah, that's a bit of a conflict there, isn't it? Being too close to the door, but there we are. But yeah, like I say, it was important to me to try and make sure that I had loads of interactive control. So we've got the Krone GX520 trailer here, because we are going to be running a bit of silage. We'll go into what we're going to be doing in a bit more detail shortly. We've got this lovely big Demco 2200 auger grain cart, which we'll be putting to good use in the distant future. Got a couple of massive headers. The FD255 Flex Draper here. We've got 2 of these, MacDon branded. These header trailers are always a little bit annoying. I did actually start out with these ones with the included wheel and transport support that you can equip these headers with, but the drawbars at the front just kept on moving ever so slightly over time, all the way around here. So when I want to reverse my vehicle in to pick it up, it's all the way over here, and you end up having to faff around, and it's a complete nightmare. These Demco header trailers are a little bit better. As you can see, it's already started to move a bit, which that's just happened in between coming in and out of the game a couple of times. But anyway, I'll sort that out in the near future. Couple of really big corn headers, the North Star 2430 FB's Geringhoffs, again colour coded in the Caterpillar yellow to match these magnificent 18900 Lexion harvesters. Now these are on the Mod Hub, again like I say, links will be in the video description below. I've always been a fan of these Caterpillar coloured and branded Lexions. We've got 2 of them, and of course we've got some big fields, so we've got some big headers, so yeah, look forward to that in the near future. And of course, mentioning cotton, we've got a couple, not 1 but 2 of these wonderful Case 635 cotton harvesters. So yeah, again, in the near future these will be put to good work, getting in some cotton and hopefully making a bit of money. And of course, wanting to work with some big kit, how could you not include the incredible Seedhawk seeders and air carts? Now this isn't the really big one, there's even bigger ones than these, but I've kind of, in my personal opinion, the fields I have, even though they are massive, didn't necessarily justify the really, really big air carts that you can get that go on the back of these. So I stuck with the baby version essentially, but this is still 65 feet in diameter. It's a massive thing, and the I suppose on top of that, the concept of potentially embarrassing myself by trying to reverse one of those massive dolly-wheeled air carts is not going to happen. So yeah, this one's a little bit easier to maneuver. But yeah, really, really nice set of mods here. These are by BC Bueller, and they're absolutely wonderful. So yeah, as I said, the urge to work with some big machinery like that. Is that not the door? That should be the door open thing, isn't it? What am I turning off there? Let's bring up the F1 menu. Lights off, lights on. I want to open the gate. There we go. There we are. But yeah, and on top of that, we have our Fendt Katana 650. Even this one, I've been able to find a forage harvester that has a little bit of interactive control, so it's really, really cool. But also just check out the detail that you get with the cab cinematic. Templeton Peck has been working very hard in the background, making sure that the cab cinematics work well with the different entrance points for all the different vehicles, so you get to climb up the staircase there instead of it just coming out in a different direction, or one that doesn't necessarily work well. You can come out and look at that. These additions to the game, in my personal opinion, and I know I've harped on about it multiple times in previous videos, they just make it so much better, don't you agree? They really do. So yeah, there we go. So we got that forest harvester there with the corn header, but we also do have a grass pickup header for it over here as well when we get down to a bit of grass work. Now on the farm at the minute it is entirely arable. We haven't got any animals on the farm, and we may well get into that in the future when we consider an expansion, when we've got a bit of money in the bank, potentially getting into maybe a bit of beef cattle or dairy cattle, I'm not too sure. But of course, with the farm being so big, I think if we were going to do it, we'll have to, you know, the good old phrase, go big or go home. We've got just under $200,000 in the bank at the minute, but we'll just see how that goes. We've got most of what we need on the farm at the minute, so we've got plenty of the differing herbicides and fungicides and insecticides and all the different fertilizers that the Realistic Soil and Fertilizer mod brings to the game, and they are all in here in this amazing, pretty sizable kind of sprayer shed in the way. So over here, you can go to your trigger, and you've got loads of things. So this room, we've got ammonium nitrate. We've got seeds in here. We've got all the different products that Realistic Soil and Fertilizer brings to the game. We've got 50,000 litres of them all. It'll be easy for me to show you if I go into time-saving stock jet, but we'll go and have a look at that in a bit. We've got this Case IH Patriot. Now this is one of the mods that doesn't unfortunately have interactive control, but it's all good. Again, as you've already been able to tell, we've got quite a lot of Case equipment on here. I figured it was about time we had a bit of a red farm going on. I've done a lot with John Deere in the past and other brands, but yeah, I just fancied having a bit of a Case session on here. So yeah, there we go. Nice Patriot sprayer. This one being the size that it is, but this will be focusing on our own fields. We've also got this Magnum 340. Again, this is by Carl Farms. This particular model doesn't have interactive control, but I really wanted to run this version that has these accompanying side tanks. That's all I wanted to do with it. I just wanted to have a go with these side tanks because it's a cracking addition. I think it just fits perfectly on this save and on this map and on this farm. So this, in my mind anyway, the purpose of this Magnum and its spraying function is to go and do some contracts with it, essentially. Again, just to, I know it might seem a bit daft having 2 sprayers, but not all of our fields are massive, so if we do need to get some spraying work done in some of our smaller fields, this will be ideal for doing that. But in the big fields, it's going to be the Patriot over here. But yeah, and this is the shed that also does contain our workshop. I think the trigger is just over here somewhere. There we are. Yep. So you got these Lizard helicopter front and side tanks. Again, by Carl Farms. The link to all these bits of equipment will be in the video description below. So, yep, this is the seed shed and the fertilizer shed. We'll be putting that to good use very, very soon. So we come up here now. Again, just take in the landscaping work that Kim has done. When we got down to discussing what we were going to be doing with this save, she asked me what the idea was, what I wanted to do, and essentially my response was big. I just wanted to play with big equipment. So she has made this wonderful farm, but she's not made it easy for me, has she? Done it on purpose, I know. But she's made sure that there's plenty of trees to get in my way. There's not to get in my way, but just to make things a challenge. So there's lampposts here, there, and everywhere. Again, just to, you know, kind of make sure that I'm concentrating on what I'm doing. But yeah, just look at the place. It's absolutely gorgeous. It really is. So these are the other doors to where we were before. Look through the window there. There's the truck and the cotton trailer, just to get your bearings here. And then round the back here we have another lovely shed where we have this Chevy Silverado, again by Carl Farms, but this one has full interactive control. It's really, really cool. You can check this one out. It doesn't come with the cab cinematics, of course, because that's just a limitation of cab cinematic. But I mean, you can, if we turn the engine on, you can wind the windows down and everything. And up. It was already down. But how cool is that, eh? Really, really cool. And you've got this on all 4 doors. You can open all the doors. If I can, I've opened that now and I can't shut it. I'll have to go around and close that in a minute. But yeah, it's a proper cool thing, this. It really is. And I couldn't not have this on the farm. Adding to the detail. Let me just nip round and close the door. There we are. So very cool. But yeah, we got this fuel trailer as well, to give us a bit of support if we ever need it. The Thunder Creek equipment. Thunder, for those of you who do watch Millennial Farmer. For seeding in our smaller fields, primarily we've got a handful of grass fields. I'll go into the PDA in a bit and show you what we got. But we've got this lovely old Case IH 5100 seeder. I think it's 5 meters wide or something like that, I think it is. Or 4 or 5 meters wide anyway. But that's going to be perfect for our smaller grass fields. We've got this lovely speed tender, this J&M speed tender LC390. Again, this will be used with the pickup truck for supporting us in the fields if we need a top up of seed or fertilizer. And we've got this massive Dalbo Mega Roll 2430 field roller, which is I've seldom used one of these things, if I'm honest. Obviously I've used field rollers before, but I don't think I've ever used one of these absolutely massive ones. So yeah, it's really, really cool. Very nice indeed. So we come around here. Now in here, I know it seems a bit odd that this particular bit of equipment, hello, thought I'd got rid of that tree. Clearly not. I'll sort that out in a bit. But yeah, this particular bit of equipment might seem a bit odd that it's sat in here and this outside shed. This is the Kinnan Fab Big Burn weeder. And it is a wonderful thing. I've always wanted to use this thing. It kills weeds with fire. So yeah, how cool is that? You still have to feed it with herbicide. But yeah, killing weeds with fire seemed like a really cool thing to do, and I've wanted to use this bit of kit for ages. But the reason why it's in here and not in one of the shops is because it keeps on falling through the floor, and it's the only bit of equipment that does this, and I don't know why, so I've had to just stick it out here on the natural ground, and it seems to be alright. But these 2 front legs, in any one of the workshops, and I've tried every single one of them, the legs there just kind of fall through the floor by a couple of inches and get stuck. So when you bring in your tractor and you hitch it up, the tractor then gets stuck and performs a wheelie, and you're just left with all kinds of horror shows. So yeah, for now it's parked out here under a roof, of course, so it's all good. But yeah, that's why that sits there. So that's for dealing with all of our weeding purposes. And here we have my little farmhouse. Now again, adding to realism ideas and just making sure to keep on top of everything in respect of realism. I really wanted, because there's so many options out there now when it comes to farmhouses, of having full interiors, and it's great. It really is. Just having this extra little bit of realism, this bit of immersion to have a house that you can go in, is really, really cool, I think. So yeah, there's loads of interactivity in these full interior houses, and it was just a no-brainer to have one on the farm. So yeah, Kim was happy to add that in for me. So yeah, that's where we sleep. That's where we live. Let's close the gate for now. We do have a dog roaming around. I think his name's Apollo. But yeah, he's roaming around somewhere. Over here we have this massive anhydrous tank. This is obviously for storing our anhydrous. We haven't, of all the fertilizers that we've got over there in the shed, anhydrous is the one that we haven't got over there, and we've got it stored away here in this anhydrous ammonia plant. Again, it was just something I wanted to have on the farm because we can take a delivery using some big tankers that now and again can come and deliver some product to us, and we've got a fuel tank over here, of course. And I'm trying to think, that's pretty much roughly a very quick tour of everything that we've got on the farm. So, and again, as we arrived in this one, the Puma 260. It does have a Fendt front weight, yes, I get that, but I've always just had a thing for these front weights because it's got the rope on it, and that's primarily why. So I've painted it in case red, hung it off the front of this thing, and that's us for that. So yeah, we've got plenty of equipment. Like I said before, the idea wasn't to struggle, it wasn't to start from scratch, I just wanted to enjoy myself. So we've got a whole array of massive equipment to work with. As you can see, on top of the Salford cultivator that we have here, we also have this slightly smaller Horschfiner 6SL cultivator to work some of the smaller fields on the farm. There's not many, I think we've got five, I think we've got. Or four, is it? Yeah, four smaller fields, sorry, that we've got for putting some grass in. And, yeah. So, I think now we've had a quick tour around all the equipment. I say all the equipment, we've actually got two on the way. So, they should be here any minute now, actually. So, before they arrive, let's just jump in and have a look at the PDA. And I'll show you what we've got going on. So, let's have a quick look-see. Where are we? Right. So, this is our land. Now, I'm going to go over to the growth stage bit. Oh, that happened quite quickly. Usually it takes a few seconds to load in. So this is our 448 to be precise, acres of farmland. And as you can see, I've done quite a lot of prep work in making a lot of big custom fields. So what have we got going on? In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to overlay an image now of the plan that I've got in mind. So here it is. So in the bottom right hand corner in the big fields 138, 39, 40 and 41, we're going to be planting corn. We plant corn in April next month, so we've got a bit of time ahead of us for that. Most of the fields are in a cultivated state because I've done that when setting them up and prepping them. So yeah, we've got this big field that is going to be corn. North of that in 136 and 137 we have 66 acres of cotton, or that will be cotton. We haven't planted it yet, of course. Moving slightly to the left, fields 100, 132 and 133. We have 43 acres of cotton going into 132 and 133. The idea is we're going to make a start on this field today. Just north of that in field 100 is going to be corn. Going slightly left again, fields 99 and 122. That is going to be soybeans, totaling 55 acres in that field. And left again, 152 and 121. That's another 43 acre plot of land that is going to be soybeans again. And to the very south, the massive field that's made up of 5 individual fields, 6, sorry, forgive me. That is going to be long grain rice, 86 acres in total. And then the 4 smaller fields, 123, 124, 126, 134 and 135, they are all going to be grass fields eventually. So yeah, we're going to be making a little bit of money from a bit of grass. So that's the idea from that. Now, it's not just arable. What we do own a few production systems on the map. There is a textile factory. Let me jump into our production systems here and I'll show you where we are. So we have a biogas plant. The purpose at the minute of the biogas plant, we're going to be making some silage. And as you can see from the recipe, we're going to be turning that silage into electric charge, methane and digestate. A handful of these production systems are from a mod pack called the Fed Productions Pack, I think it's called. I'll post links to that in the video description below as well. It's quite it's an interesting pack and mod. It's huge. There's so many different production systems and factories in there. But yeah, I'm going to be using this one in particular, this 1 megawatt biogas plant for producing electricity, which is then going to be fed into our, we have an oil mill where we can make corn oil. Now I have amended these recipes. We're going to be potentially making corn oil and also rice oil as well. So for those products, we do need electric charge. So the electricity from the biogas plant is going to be fed into the oil mill and also to our textile factory. Now, this has the option of making tons and tons of things, but we're going to be taking advantage of, in the near future anyway, our cotton. So from cotton, using the electric charge that we get from the biogas plant, we can make fabric, and then using that fabric, we can make clothing. So fabric plus electric charge again will make clothes. So hopefully in the future, we're going to be making a decent amount of money from that. So yeah, that's something to look forward to, but we're a long way off from that yet. We've not even planted the crops in the ground yet, and that's what we need to be getting around to today. So there we are. Hopefully that's I say relatively brief. I know we're about 24 minutes into the video at the minute, but there we go. That's a relatively brief overview of the farm, what we've got on it, the equipment we've got, and roughly what we're going to be working with. But this field next to the farm here is where I want to be working in today, and we're going to be planting some corn. But we haven't got a planter yet, have we? So that's one of the things that is on the way, because I have got into a little bit of debt already. If I jump again, forgive me, back into the menus, using Ozzy's wonderful hire purchasing mod, as you can see, we've got a couple of bits of kit that I am now in debt with. So we've got monthly payments totaling just over $32,000 that we're going to that's going to be paying for 2 awesome bits of kit, and they should be arriving any minute now. So let's just wait for their arrival, shall we? And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. One of them, anyway. You better start slowing down, sunshine. There we are. Look at this. Now, again, going into the whole premise of just wanting to play with some big kit. I've wanted to get my hands on one of these for a while now. This is an awesome piece of equipment. The Case Early Riser 2160 from Custom Modding. It is massive. It's just under 28 meters wide. It's a vast thing. It really is. But, yeah, and don't get me wrong, it was quite the faff finding a bit of a low loader that was big enough and wide enough to take this bit of kit. But yeah, thankfully, thanks to the RMC Stiff Belts mod, this has been safely transported here. But yeah, this is 50% of the reason why we are now in $1.16 million of debt. And also, approaching this cracking thing again, I didn't need an excuse, did I? We have Carl Farms Case Quadtrack 785, 853 brutish horsepower. So yeah, this is really quite something. So what we do need to do is get a little bit of spend a bit of time here getting all this unloaded. Now, I won't lie to you, it's a bit of a faff. If I could do it in one smooth go, as it were, without having to rely on the wonder of editing, I would do. But I can tell you reliably that if I was to unfold this trailer, get the ramps out the back here, unstrap it, bring the quad track up to it, and then hitch it up while it's on the trailer in order to tow it off, which is what you would do in real life, of course, this thing just explodes into a flurry of nonsense. It gets stuck on the trailer, it gets completely lost in itself. So I'm going to try my very best. I'm going to hope that nothing goes wrong here by unstrapping it, but I'd rather not demonstrate to you what happens when you hitch it up. But because of where it sits and height-wise on the trailer, as soon as as soon as you hitch it up, it brings it down. It shunts this hitch point right down to the level of where the tractor is, and just kind of it kind of merges itself into the base of the trailer. So I'm going to sort a few things out here. I'll get this lot unloaded, and then we need to crack on with a bit of work, because the first thing we need to do is get some cotton into this field and get it planted, because we're in March and we need to get the crops in the ground so we can get the money out the ground in the near future, in the distant future, sorry, so we can start making a bit of a living on here. So yeah, let me sort this whole thing out. Now, of course, very quickly, the purpose of the early riser planter here is to deal with the corn, the soybeans, and the cotton that we're going to be working with on the farm. And the reason why we've got the big air cart seeder over there is primarily to deal with our long grain rice. So that's the purposes of both of these bits of equipment. So anyway, right, let me sort this out, and I'll pick you back up in a moment or two's time. Right, there we go. The magic of editing, that's all I'm going to say. Yeah, this is quite the nightmare to play around with, if I must be honest, when you're not just working it in its traditional use, which is on flat ground in a field. But there we go, job done. Look at this though, what an office this is. Check out the rear view cameras there. I believe that's all part and parcel to do with the Mercedes-Benz DLC pack. But yeah, this has got all the kit. We've got dashboard live running, of course, as you can see with there. We've got a nice big PDA of the map there, which is great with our display. That little green yellow dot there towards the south of the map. But yeah, what a thing. This is just mega. I didn't need to give myself too much of an excuse to spend a buttload of money on one of these, did I? But anyway, right. We need to get rid of that truck there for a start. So I'll finish off faffing around here. And then we need to go and load up with some seed. And get planting. Right then, here we are in the pickup with the J&M seed tender loaded on the back. And I'm putting my reversing skills to the test using the rear view camera that is equipped on this pickup truck. It's absolutely brilliant, this truck. It really is. Again, Carl Farms. I'll post a link to it in the video description below. But just being able to take advantage of all these awesome little mods is just brilliant. So, refuel. We want a few seeds in here. There we go. Get that filled up. Last thing I want to be doing is pulling that planter and quad track convoy down here. It's a little bit bumpy, and I know on this particular farm with the build and a few of the construction mods that we've used, there's a few other mods that are a little bit problematic now and again, shall we say, with these particular. It's called the road kit. What Kim's painted down to paint these roads in. Yeah, and a few things that they tend to have a collision or two with a few bits of equipment. For example, the sprayer that I've got hooked on the back of the Magnum that I showed you before. That's now got a Hardy Mega sprayer attached to the back of it. Previously, I did really want to use this Best Way sprayer, which is a tow-behind mod, but I couldn't. It wouldn't even allow me to drive into the farm. It just kept on hitting the floor, I suppose. There was no visible collision, but there was collisions nonetheless. So I've had to. There's the dog. Hey up, sausage! Don't be getting in my way here. He's just going to walk around in circles, isn't he? Don't get run over there now. Goodness me. So yeah. What's beeping at me here? Have I got too much weight behind me? I don't know. And I do have to be careful in this pickup truck, actually. When you've got any kind of weight behind you, it wants to lose its back end. It's like it's got no traction whatsoever on the back wheels. And I've tried altering the height of the drawbar and everything. It doesn't make any difference at all. If you go too fast, if you go like literally 1 mile an hour too fast, you just lose the back end and you end up skating around. But anyway, I am going to have to jump out of cab view for this, just to line this up. Because it is a shame that you can't move around more in cab. But you know what, I'm just being picky here. It's fine. So, let's get ourselves hopefully lined up somewhere about right. Are we going to get it there? Yeah. Bit back. I had it then. The triggers are a little... Almost had it there. Let me just... I think I'm a few inches away. There we go. Let's try that. There's some bright reverse lights, aren't there? Come on. Let's have it. There we are. On the money, eventually. But yeah, this is the whole purpose of having mods like this, to try and do things even remotely correctly. So let's jump out. How awesome is this, ladies and gentlemen? Right then, anyway, so... This is almost full, I think. Where are we now? How much have we got? A reading there? Seeds? Yep, it stopped filling. That's what we wanted. Excellent. So, jump back in. Close the door. Bring that pipe in. Now, where are we? I think I'll just pop this on the road here for now. It's not like there's lots and lots of traffic coming down here. This will do for now. So, let's turn you off. Jump out. See what I mean about just adding tons and tons of realism. Just being able to open closed doors, open windows and all that. But anyway, you need to check out, if you haven't seen it already, the animations that is part of this incredible early riser planter here from Custom Modding. So, let's jump in here. And let's close those covers firstly. There we are. And we'll fold it up. And then we can just see it in action, because it is pretty cool. It does take a good few seconds to do its thing, but there is an element of theatre to it. The time that must have gone into making this mod is just incredible. We should have started right the way around here, actually, I think. Should we? Which side? Yeah, they all come up one by one. Look at this. Modders make this game, ladies and gentlemen, without a shadow of a doubt. Details like this on machinery like this is just proper special. Admittedly, this one in particular is a bit, you know, it looks great and it does the thing that you want it to do and it looks fabulous. But if you're on uneven ground or you happen to be driving over some uneven surface, it can be a nightmare. Ask me how I know. Anyway, right, enough of my nonsense. Let's get cracking here. So let's turn those off. I want to be starting we're going to start with the central rows first and finish off on the headlands, but I don't want to turn too tight because it doesn't have a very tight turning circle with this massive bit of equipment on the back here. Anyway, right, where's the stereo? There we go. Let's have some tunes on. Let's get sowing our first seed. Right then, there we go. First job done. First seeds are in the ground. Very happy with that indeed. It really didn't take us long to get that done at all. It's quite a big field, this. 43 acres, if I remember correctly. And that's taken us, what, 45 minutes, I think? So, yeah, really, really good job. Obviously, it does help having a planter that's almost 30 metres wide, but still, that's the whole point of doing this series and having this big kit, so you can enjoy massive fields, enjoy running with some massive equipment, and not have it take an eternity to get the job done either. So, brilliant stuff. Let's fold that up. There we go. Let's get that turned off, jump out and have a quick look-see, because I did mention before, I know it's a detail I didn't mention up to now, of course, but I mentioned that when it comes to some of the mods that I've got running on here, very much like Whitcomb Park Farm, I have got the soil and fertilizer mod running on here. I'll be honest, when I started setting up this save game after Chimera had passed it my way after doing her incredible farm build, I loaded up soil and fertilizer and all the fields were completely devoid of any kind of nutrients. And I mean, literally zero. Everything was red and I didn't fully understand why. There's a couple of maps I've tried it on so far. You know, if any of you have worked with that mod in the past, you know, you load it into a save game. It seems to work and it gives you a reading of nutrients in the field. Yes, you may well have to work on them and bring them up to the specified levels for the crops that you're working with, but I've never seen so far anyway fields completely with zero. So it did take me a little bit of time in sorting them all out, but I've got them all to a standard. But because I didn't have any crops in the field, obviously they weren't, the nutrients weren't to the specific levels that each of the crops need, and I liked it that way, because I thought, well, I need work to do in the series, so if we've got to do any work, that's what we'll be doing in the future. So yeah, soil and fertilizer, let's jump in and have a quick look. There we go. As you can see, a nice field of cotton. There's a few spots here that I've not been able to get. I did just run around there, but for some reason they just will not drill in these tiny little spots, which doesn't do the OCD any good, but hey ho, it is what it is. Right, so soil and fertilizer. Now, as you can see, we've got this big white strip across the middle of the field here. This is, I can't seem to do anything about this at the minute. This is because I joined these two fields together. Initially, in the standard version of the map, there's a big strip of grass here, and there are trees across it. So I removed all those trees and cultivated over with the cultivator, of course. And it's all my land. Yes, this plot of land, when you come to the ownership of the farmland, if I click on 175 here, this will have to go to the farmland bit here. But if 175 is all the bits in between, all the fields and roads and such. So I own all of that, just so I could do this particular job in joining all the fields together. But for some reason, it doesn't show up in soil and fertilizer, so it is what it is. It is what it is. But starting at the top with the nitrogen, with the cotton that we've just planted, we're actually quite high there, aren't we? It varies, but it looks like we are a couple of parts per million too high in across most of the field. But the yield is still good. The yield has told us that we're at 101% in the info box there. And it's the same with all the other fields. This field was joined together. There's a big gap there. You can see where I'm going with all of this, especially this field here. This is a right mess, isn't it? These are all the areas that I kind of ploughed in and to create one big field. But if anyone does know how to get soil and fertilizer to recognize these little bits, I'd be greatly appreciative. But either way, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. It's fine. The fields are there. So phosphorus, what work have we got to do in the cotton field? Oh, so we're 4 parts per million shy of a phosphorus level here. 5 there, 3 over there, 2 over there. Okay, so we've got a little bit of work to do in the field here with phosphorus. Potassium. Oh, we're way over there, aren't we? Way over all over the place here. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't look like we need to do much with potassium there. pH levels. Well, that's a nice shade of green. Slightly acidic. Apply some lime. So we need to do a bit of liming. That bit's optimal. So yeah, we need a bit of leveling out to do in that particular field, but it's not just this field, is it? We've got a whole load of other fields to look at in the coming months. Like, as I mentioned before, a brief planting plan when it comes to the months that we need to work in. Obviously, cotton, we're in March, so we need to get this field drilled with cotton and these 2 fields drilled here with cotton as soon as possible. And then corn, we plant in April next month. Cornfields we'll have a look at those shortly, but the cornfields are down here. The bottom right-hand corner, this massive quadrant of fields linked into one, and then we've got field 100 up here as well. That's going to be corn. In fact, what we'll do is let's jump into flight mode and have a bit of a look from above. In fact, I think that's a little bit better. So yeah, this we've got cotton here. We've just done that. This is going to be cotton. Currently it has a harvested crop of corn in here, so we've got a bit of cultivation work to do in here, as we do with this one as well. I did try and plough this field together previously before I started recording for the last few days. This was a massive field. This area here, this area of kind of dud grassland, you can cultivate over the road here that runs right the way through, but when it comes to drilling, you can't drill over it for some reason. If you're running an AI worker or course play, it gets to this point, even though this looks like a field, and it stops and it says no field found. Even though I own this plot of land, it's something to do with this inbuilt roadway here. I did jump into Giants Editor and try and remove it, but it's not as simple as just click and delete as it is with trees and such. So I didn't want to dive too deep in and just mess the map up. So I left it as it is and just decided, you know what, instead of having one massive field, we're just going to have to work with 2 slightly smaller ones. So yeah, this is going to be some cotton very, very soon, and then we've got a decent site. Look at this. This is a whopper. This is going to be corn in the coming months. So yeah, decent area of land to work with here. These 2 are currently 2 harvested, cut, mowed fields of grass. We need to sort these out, turn these to grass as well, and then we've got the whopper down here in the bottom left-hand corner of our area of farmland. Anyway, this is 86 acres, and in the fullness of time, come April, this will be long grain rice. So yeah, what a size. You can see why I wanted to go with the old Seed Hawk thing there. But yeah, I think that Seed Hawk is perfect size for this size field. It is a whopper, like I say, 86 acres. And then coming north a bit more, we've got this is going to be a soybean field. That's going to be a soybean field there, and then we've got round the back of the farm here, we've got a field that we're going to turn to grass here, and also another field that is a harvested field of grass. We need to deal with all of these and prep them. So yeah, field of soybeans here. This is our grain dryer, our corn dryer. our silo and corn dryer in one. We do have Aussie's moisture system mod running as well, so I need to be a bit more mindful of the moisture levels of crops when we harvest them. Hopefully I'll have a little bit of time to be able to allow that to happen, because at the minute I'm in 7-day months. Forgive me, I didn't mean to go into a few details of the save game as well at the very beginning. We're in 7-day months. I'm in hard economic difficulty, as I always am. So yeah, just a few details about where we're playing. I may adjust the 7-day months maybe down to 5 or maybe even 3, depending on how we get on time wise. But until I've got a feel for the place and how long things are going to take, I'll make that adjustment in the future. And this field here, field 100, which is relatively small compared to the others, this is also going to be a field of corn as well, which is all good. So when it comes to the crops and grains, of course, soybeans, we'll make a bit of money from those. We'll make a bit of money from the corn into our production systems, as well as potentially turning it into a bit of corn silage, and also drying corn as well to make a bit of money from that. Because in our production systems, forgive me, jumping back into the menus again relatively quickly, we have the central ethanol plant, where we can turn our soybeans into diesel, which will be very handy for the running of our machinery in our farm, because we've got big stuff, so it's going to be thirsty. But we can also create ethanol from our corn, which is that could be a fruitful venture in the future as well. I'll need to buy a tanker that can take ethanol, but apart from that, it's just something nice to look at. You know, a few different few varieties of things we can do with our crops. It's not just going to be a case of harvesting and selling them. We can throw them into our production systems and get a few different products out the back end. But yeah, from the sky up above, just a bit of an overview of the land that we've got to work with. But it's a big farm, isn't it? It really is. Really, really looking forward to getting my teeth into this one. So let's bring ourselves back down to earth with a bump. There we go. But yeah, very nice and happy to have made a start on the work with our new equipment. Like I said before, $1.16 million in debt to pay for these two wonderful bits of kit. But you know what? Why not? Like I said, I'm here to have a bit of fun and enjoy a bit of wonderful US-style farming with some awesome, massive kit. But I'm quite aware that this video is relatively long. I've got no idea where it's up to now, time-wise, because I've not edited it together yet, but I'm confident it must be about 30 to 40 minutes long, probably a bit longer. So, yeah, if you are all here, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for sticking with me. I hope you have enjoyed this first episode of the new series, and I hope you're looking forward to more. I cannot wait to get stuck into this. I really can't. But for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to call it here. Thank you very much for watching. I really do hope you have enjoyed this first episode. Found it a little bit of fun and a little bit interesting. As always, if you're new to the channel and you've enjoyed the video and you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please hit that like button too, as it does do wonders, helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And if you like the idea of supporting the channel, there are a couple of ways you can do that. There is my Giants Partner promo code, if you like the idea of supporting the channel and are in the market for purchasing any bit of Farming Simulator, the main game, any of its DLCs or add-ons. There is coffee.com if you'd like to buy me a coffee, and there is also my G-Portal affiliate link if any of you are in the market for an online server to play with your mates. Any help and support here also, ladies and gentlemen, would be massively appreciated. So, thanks again for your time, folks. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.